Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In any debate, if you try to prevent the other speaker from speaking, from bringing or making his case or her case, then you are an authoritarian. You are not ready for a debate. You're afraid of a debate. And you let the audience determine, obviously, who's the winner of the debate and who's the loser. So in this case, we have the United Nations, we have the president of Iran, and we have some American politicians. Now, these American politicians want to deny the president of Iran's entry visa in the United States to attend the United Nations gathering, meeting, whatever it is. You know where I'm going with this, but I have more. So this article comes from Fox News and it's from August 4th, 2022. Senators, experts, so senator and experts urge Biden to deny visa to Iran's president ahead of United Nations General Assembly. Now, let's not forget, United Nations, it's not, or not supposed to be, US's club where they can accept or, not accept participants. Now, United Nations location is in New York City, in Manhattan. That was chosen, it was not appointed. A lot of people are paying for that, including the United States. I think it has the big bulk of the cost. I'm not certain. I don't want to give you, that's what I think information I had, years back when I read about United Nations and who's doing what and whatever. So the United States wants to do the same thing they did with Russia with its debt. They want to prevent Russia from paying its debt, not because it doesn't have the money, but because they want to destroy the methods of the ability of Russia to use certain ways to pay the money. As I said, I have to pay my taxes in the city hall, let's say. The city doesn't want me to pay my taxes. They want me to get arrested, get in trouble, get late with paying my taxes. What they do, they employ the police, and the police is going to put roadblocks. Now, if I take my bike trying to pay my taxes, they will stop me physically from doing this by, throwing nails in front of me and I get a flat tire. If I try to walk, they would arrest me because I'm jaywalking or something. So it's kind of like the same thing here. The United States does not want to allow someone they are not in agreement with to speak. That means, who's the tyrant here? That guy, who very well might be, but you're not better than that guy. So you want to protect us from hearing his, stating his case? Why is that? Because you determine that what I should hear and what I should not hear? Since when you're in charge of that, of my freedom to hear it? But they are. So you see, this is the way it works. And it's not the American people. As I said, let the guy speak. Let him participate. He's a member of the United Nations still, as you are. United States or France or, different, the countries, they are members. So plans for Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi to attend the United Nations General Assembly in September, despite US sanctions, has prompted calls from officials and experts alike for President Biden to deny the delegation any visas. I don't like that. I call it tyrannical, for the reasons I just mentioned. And besides, they say here, experts and officials and senators. I want to see who those are. I want to see the names. I want to see the names and call them for what they are. So, the Biden administration has publicly acknowledged that the regime in Tehran is actively plotting to assassinate Americans, end quote. And we have here a name, Richard Goldberg, Zelensky, former National Security Council official and senior advisor at the Foundation of Defense of Democracies, told Fox News Digital, how can they issue visas to the people in charge of the plot? It would be fully consistent with U.S. law and treaty obligation to deny Raisi and his delegation visas on national security grounds. Well, if they consider these guys terrorists for killing their general that these guys consider terrorist, so then what? I mean, what are we doing now? So you kill one of our men that you consider to be terrorist, then we consider you terrorist for doing that, and now you say, we see, they want to kill you, but you killed their people that you consider, they didn't consider that terrorist. You know, the freedom fighters of one group is the terrorist of another group. So, and this Goldberg, needless to go deeper into anything else. Iranian government spokesman Ali Bahadouri Jahromi announced the government has set preliminary plans for Raisi to attend the annual event, his first since taking office. The UN General Assembly will commence on September 13 in New York City with a general debate to start. I remember, for instance, a few days ago that the United States hailed, for good reason, the killing of a terrorist. They designated being a terrorist and the new Al-Qaeda leader. Then how did they do that? With a CIA drone. Yes. Where was the guy? Was in a sovereign country, independent sovereign country of Afghanistan. How did that drone get in a sovereign country and killed that guy without due process? How do you call that? I mean, if we are about to just be nitty-gritty and nitpicking, then we should agree with this kind of representation. Now, I know some airplanes, some fighter jets from the Jewish state just entered the space of other countries and destroyed certain locations in an independent sovereign country of Syria. Now, how do you call that one? Self-defense? Oh, okay, all right. But the other country has no right of self-defense. Why? Because they're the bad dudes, right? So you see, these people who point finger at everybody, how perfect they are and fantastic they are, they're not. And put yourself in those guys' shoes. If you can't judge it or analyze it from outside, and you still think, oh yeah, we should do this, then put yourself in the other person's shoes and see if you have the ability to think like that. Because if you're still gonna come with the same conclusion, I suspect that you do not understand that. Not blaming you, I don't know your situation. It's just, what I'm afraid is that the same illogic could be used against you and I and people that I love. So I don't like it. Because they say, no, we use it only to those guys, against those guys. Those guys you labeled as bad. You can label me as bad tomorrow for whatever I'm saying here, for instance. And then I'm just going to have a drone outside taking me out? Is that how it works? You can say, well, no, it's going to be like that. It's just that the guy was over there. You couldn't just take him and so on. Blah, blah, blah. There are other channels to make it work. I mean, you destroyed a country to find one guy, allegedly. Why didn't you take that guy out like you did with this guy? You have to go to Afghanistan. Because of Taliban? What's your problem with Taliban? Taliban, that's their government, that's their country. Shouldn't they rule it the way they want it? What if they say what you are doing here is wrong? Allowing women to wear skirts where you can see their knees. That's indecent. How about that? Or women in underwear walking down the street. What is that? Or whatever, the yoga pants where you can see the, if you know what I mean. What is that? Oh, it's freedom. It's freedom. Well, it's freedom, and then to a certain extent, right? And the other guys are not freedom, but they are decent. So you see, whose values? Yours or theirs? Or they kill people over there. and these guys don't, right? It's just everywhere you look, you are not pure. It doesn't mean you should not talk about it, but it's so blatant. We should not let him come because they said they were going to kill Americans. Now, do you think that Raisi is going to come and do this? Okay, he said that or whatever they say. Why did they say that? I'm not going to repeat it, but I already said, because you killed one of the generals that you deemed him as a terrorist. You called them the guard, whatever is that guard, I can't remember, not National Guard. You designated as a terrorist organization, and then they designated your army as a terrorist organization, right? Yeah, I think the guy should be allowed to speak, and if he's not allowed to come, at least should be allowed to speak via Zoom and attend that way. If we get to that, oh my God, because you don't have the right to not let that guy speak. You don't own United Nations. Okay, don't give him the visa, but he should be allowed to speak. As crazy as he might be. I mean, we listen to this guy right now with a teleprompter telling us crazy stuff. And we don't listen to that guy? I mean, yeah. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.